broadcast is brought to you as a joint initiative between Anubhav, the National Institute of Social Defense, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, and Media for Community Foundation. Producers, CovaiVanis, CovaiCare Retirement Communities. If you are a senior citizen and need help, contact our Elder Helpline 14567 between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. We promise to help you lead a better life. I repeat, 14567 between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m.
Namaskar. 26th July. On this day, being observed as Kargil Vijay Divas, CovaiVanis pays homage to all our valiant soldiers and army officers who laid down their lives battling the enemy. Following a message from Army veteran Colonel Achal Sridharan VSM are two poems, The Summer of 99 by Revati Bhaskar and The Musings of a Brave Soldier by Shankaran. Jai Hind.
Vanakkam. I am Colonel Achal Sridharan, an Army veteran from the Regiment of Artillery. Among the various command and staff appointments that I held in my Army life, spanning over nearly 30 years, the tenure in Ladakh, covering from Kargil to Siachen as GSO-1 operations in 1987-88 was perhaps the most satisfying tenure. 23 years ago, on this day, after 85 days of pitched hand-to-hand combat, our valiant army evicted the Pakistani troops who had surreptitiously occupied our post in Kargil, thanks to the leadership of our young officers who led the troops from the front. The extraordinary grit, determination and valor displayed by our soldiers and officers, the fire of the artillery, known as the king of the battlefield, and the never say die attitude of the infantry, known as the queen of the battle, we took back inch by inch by fighting hand to hand and evicted the Pakistanis from every single bunker that they illegally occupied in those Kargil heights. Kargil was a battle confined to the Dras, Kargil, Batalik and Siachen sectors of Ladakh. The valor of our army and their implicit faith in Naam, Namak and Nishan of their Paltans resulted in Pakistani's misadventure being a failure. Today, we pay homage to our martyrs who died in the heights of Kargil in 1999 and thank them from our heart for giving our today by sacrificing their tomorrow. Jai Hind.
Summer of 99. Today, as I recall the tragedy of the summer of 99, I bow my head in tribute to all those who valiantly fought on an 80-degree incline, on glacial rocky ridges 18,000 feet high in freezing temperature. My heart goes out to the unfortunate brave soldiers the enemies captured, but who sealed their lips despite inhuman and unimaginable brutal torture. 23 years back, hundreds laid down their lives, leaving behind parents, children, and doting wives, having made promises to return home soon, but answered the call of duty under the light of a dismal moon. They kept their promises indeed, went as men, and came draped in tricolor, while kith and kin fainted and moaned, and one only saw faces in pallor. Though grieving, a proud father, willing to sacrifice his second son too in the service of the nation, just to ensure a peaceful life to you. Our young officers and soldiers from all cross sections of the country least hesitated to the supreme sacrifice, be they from any battalion of military. Undeterred, they fought the hostile enemy, whether gnawing hunger and biting cold, choosing grenades over survival rations even as they struggled for a toehold. The notorious Batalik and Dras sectors, the 160-kilometer stretch of rugged slopes, the world's highest battlefield was no hurdle for our men instilled with hopes. The ridges of Siachen witnessed the bravery of our very young men, whose endless stories can never ever be written with an untiring pen. I salute you all, the pride of India, to whom call of duty was first and all else after, who were taken away in the prime of youth only to be mourned under the rafter. Some of you were to be betrothed, others to get married, some were fathers to be, and some were single children whose sole mission was to make the enemy flee. Even while the enemy clasped our outstretched arms to forget and forgive, they harbored evil designs to occupy bunkers in our land with glances so furtive, but they were no match for our army, where officers themselves led the operations to inspire the ranks by their own personal heroism, mindless of any compensation. This day, on Kargil Vijay Divas, as we light our candles in tribute to your memory, we realize that there is still the need for a torch of constant vigil in this century, since people are yet to understand that the world will know of peace only when power of love replaces love of power, so that hatred will cease. Musings of a brave soldier. Far up on the mountain top, 3 miles high, with the desolate terrain, the only visible ally, oxygen levels so low my lungs are struggling to function, temperatures so cold my toes freeze even with protection. Skipping and sliding on snow, inches thick and ever present, keeps accumulating day after day as if with my consent. Monday to Friday, 40 hours a week, this job, you ask? No, sir. 24/7, year round, this job, I tell you. My submachine gun and ammunition, my constant companion. When I prowl around the border, watching for enemy intruders, there are times I hear the rotor noise of supply helicopters, bringing essentials and a welcome human contact to our posts. But other times, we are bombarded by heavy artillery fire, with the enemy firing at us for no reason other than their ire. Grandpa asks me, why this nerve wracking job with a low pay? But this is no job, it is the reflection of my love for my country. I'm not an MBA earning a six-figure income. However, patriotism is not measured by numbers, only by sacrifices. Mankind is known for waging wars every few years, just or not. If one such comes around and I fall dead on the battlefield, let nobody say he has wasted his life in his prime years, because my last words will always be Jai Hind, Jai Hind.
Those were fantastic poems narrated by Mrs. Revati Bhaskar. Now, let us hear the tribute given to the soldiers through a classical song by Mrs. Girija Seshan.
என்னென்ன கனவுகளுடன் அன்று நீங்கள் தாய் மண்ணை காத்திட முன்வந்தீரோ இன்று வெறி பிடித்த பகைவன் உங்களை வீழ்த்திய போது தாய் மண்ணை போற்றி நெஞ்சம் நிமிர்ந்து நின்றீரோ காலனை கண்டு சிரித்து நின்றீரோ ஈன்றவர் உடன் பிறந்தவர் உயிர் நண்பர்களை காண நினைத்தீரோ காதல் மனைவியையும் ஆருயிர் செல்வங்களையும் ஏதும் அறியோம் யாம் கலங்கி நிற்கின்றோம். ஒன்று அறிவோம் அதை என்றும் சொல்வோம், நினைவில் கொள்ளுவோம். அமரராகி நீர், நீங்கள் அமரராகி நீர், அமரராகி நீர், நீங்கள் அமரராகி நீர்.
இந்த வலையொலி அனுபவ், தேசிய சமூக பாதுகாப்பு நிறுவனம், சமூக நீதி மற்றும் அதிகாரமளித்தல் அமைச்சகம் மற்றும் மீடியா ஃபார் கம்யூனிட்டி ஃபவுண்டேஷன் இவர்களின் கூட்டு முயற்சியாக உங்களிடம் கொண்டு வரப்பட்டது. திட்ட ஒருங்கிணைப்பாளர்கள் டாக்டர் ஆர் ஸ்ரீதர் மற்றும் ஆலோக் வர்மா அவர்கள். வானொலி ஒருங்கிணைப்பாளர்கள் பூஜா முராடா, கௌசல்யா மற்றும் சாய் சுதா அவர்கள். தயாரிப்பாளர்கள் கோவைவாணி, கோவைகேர் ரிட்டையர்மெண்ட் கம்யூனிட்டிஸ். நீங்கள் ஒரு மூத்த குடிமகனாக இருந்து உதவி தேவைப்பட்டால் எங்கள் எல்டர்லைன் ஹெல்ப் லைனை தொலைபேசி எண் 145667 இல் தொடர்பு கொள்ளவும். காலை 8 மணி முதல் இரவு 8 மணி வரை. ஒரு சிறந்த வாழ்க்கையை வாழ உங்களுக்கு உதவி செய்ய நாங்கள் உறுதி அளிக்கிறோம். மறுபடியும் கேளுங்கள். தொலைபேசி எண் 145667 காலை 8 மணி முதல் இரவு 8 மணி வரை.
That's all for today, folks. Be safe. Fight COVID with 2 vaccinations. Wear a mask when you go out. Keep safe distance. Observe proper hygiene. We must win. We will win. Thank you.